Hey, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of 314 Sports Show right here on 314 Sports. My name is Brandon. I'll be your host tonight. Along with me tonight for tonight's episode, I got Josh and Jordan. How you guys doing?
Tired.
Great. Fantastic.
Yeah. How you feeling about before we get too in-depth with it, quick thoughts on the Cardinals trade deadline? Yes or no?
I give him a B+.
B+. Okay.
B+.
Okay.
I kind of agree with that, and I'll go with a B-.
B-. I like it. B- isn't bad.
Crucial.
B-
You're
isn't
being
bad.
rough on him.
Before we jump into the trade deadline stuff, let's talk about the standout stellar performance by McGivney today against the Texas Rangers.
You mean McGreevy?
McGreevy today. McGreevy, however you say his name. It's close enough. Dude had a heck of a start for his first MLB game.
He sure did.
Josh, what do you think?
Well, considering I was at work and I got to listen to like 3 innings of the game total.
Yeah.
And that was like the first inning, the 8th inning, and part of the 9th. I was really happy looking at his stat line. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run.
Yep.
I think he had
3 Ks, 3
walks,
strikeouts.
3 strikeouts. So
1 walk.
I'll take that. That's a stellar standout startup performance for him. The only problem I'm going to have with it is if next time he comes up, he falls apart. Because now the expectation is, okay, the kid stuff plays. Now, the real disappointment I have in it is we didn't see more strikeouts. He looks like a ground ball pitcher, which we know that's what they drafted for 2 or 3 years because this team is a defensive-based team. But we also know now they're going away from that. So we'll see what happens. We have a good enough infield defensively. The offense has proved to be more than serviceable. So we should be okay there in the future as long as we keep the team or at least players that are similar to what we have defensively now. It should be fine. But he looks like he's going to be a player. He was a first-round draft pick. So looks like we might have hit the nail on the head on this one. And the hope is that he can be our number 5 next year and then move up in the rotation in the years to follow. He's got a lot of control left because he was drafted in 2021. So, looking forward to it. A great first outing. Gives a lot of positive vibes. Gives Cardinals fans something to look at and look forward to over the next couple of years with this young pitcher and what he can do.
Yeah. Jordan, what do you think on the new guy?
He looked great today. Young kid, major league debut. Like he said, we would have liked to see a little bit more on the strikeouts. But hey, look, if he went 7 innings, gave up 1 against the Texas Rangers, who were in the World Series not too long ago, and I know their team is kind of
last year.
Well, last year, yeah, I know. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
they were, they're a big team, and for him to come out and do what he did, I mean, I also think this team also has a lot of spark underneath them right now because of bringing back some people, as in Tommy Pham. Apparently, he was requested by some players to bring him in for some more veteran leadership. And so far, so good with Tommy Pham. The past 2 nights, he pinched hit the other night, and we all know he hit that grand slam. And then he went 3 for 4 today, I believe, with another double. And I mean, he's raking. I mean, he's just going to be one of those guys
where 6 RBIs in 2 games.
Yeah. He had 2 today.
Which he was actually on a stat. They showed a stat that he's one of like 6 players, including with like Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire, of having getting or I think not maybe getting like traded and then having 6 RBIs in 2 games or something like that. I forget what exactly it was, but it was a crazy stat to see. And then seeing him on that stat with all those big not Hall of Famers, but whatever you want to call them, legends of the game. And but other than that, like I said, the guy went 7 innings, and like Josh said, what are we going to see on his next outing? But this team is looking good, man. They might have a different spark underneath them. Like when Tommy Pham hit that grand slam last night or the other night, Goldie went nuts in the dugout. You don't see that.
Yeah.
You don't ever see that. All right. And that right there kind of shows me that there is a little spark underneath this team. Like something just like got a hold of them and was like, hey, let's go. Let's just play ball. I mean, today it was base hit after base hit after base hit after base hit. And same with the other night, just like singles, double, maybe a home run. It's like man, this is just it's awesome to see.
Yeah. So they currently sit 5 games out of first place in the Central Division now, 56-52 with a minus 35 run differential on the season. We look at a stat like that. I know that stat gets brought up a lot when we talk about, how a team is performing, each and every day or each and every week, each and every month. Do you think this is a team now that could possibly make a run at the Central Division? We know we've seen it in the past with Milwaukee having a 5, 6, 7 game lead late into the season. Is this a team, Josh, that you think can make a run at the Central Division if the Milwaukee Brewers were to fall again?
Absolutely. So they've each played 108 games.
Yeah.
It's a 162 game season. So that means there's 54 games left?
Something like that.
Something like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Long day.
Give
Been
or
working
take.
numbers all day.
Give or take.
That's more than enough games for Milwaukee to get cold.
Yep.
And as long as St. Louis plays 500 or better ball and Milwaukee goes on a skid, that puts us in contention.
Right.
What's going to be most important is that last series we have with Milwaukee. We have one more 3-game set with Milwaukee. They've absolutely destroyed us in heads-up baseball this year.
Mm-hmm.
If we can take all 3 of those games and then Milwaukee slides a little bit, yeah, we're definitely in it for the division. We're in it for the wild card because there were other teams yesterday at the deadline who I thought were going to be buyers because so many teams are contenders for the wild card.
Yeah.
And they didn't buy, they sold. So this is and that's why I only give them a B+ on their trade deadline, which we're going to get into.
Yeah.
But we could have made one more big move, maybe given up one more prospect, maybe one more guy. Like, can we just get into the trade stuff, man? Because that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, we can do that. They're a game and a half out of a wild card spot, or no, yeah, game and a half out of a wild card spot, which is currently being held by the San Diego Padres. But since Josh is itching at the bit to talk about some trade deadline stuff, we'll talk about the first big one that happened yesterday, and that was the 3-team trade between the Chicago White Sox, the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. So we saw Tommy Edman, unfortunately, leave the big utility guy for the Cardinals the last couple of seasons.
Gold Glover.
Yes. Make his he's traded to LA yesterday. LA sent a crap ton of prospects in this one. St. Louis got Eric Fedde. I think I say his name right. Eric Fedde.
Fedde.
Eric Fedde. And
we're all going to find out when he pitches when the next start.
Right. Thanks, Chip Carey, for that. If you correct us on that. And they also get Tommy Pham back in a trade that the Cardinals they didn't give up anything. They gave him nothing on this one, besides Edman to LA. That was the only thing they gave up. They didn't give any prospects to Chicago. And you get a solid starting pitcher and a guy who's done fairly well in 2 games he's played so far.
Yeah, no, you really do. So here's the thing with Tommy Edman. I love Tommy Edman. I've been a Tommy Edman defender against Logan on our previous Cardinals Chronicles show. Even in 7th stretch, I've been a defender of Tommy Edman because of his defense. His glove plays no matter where he's at in the field. He proved everybody wrong last year when the Cardinals threw him into center field, and they said he didn't have a big enough arm. He had a big enough arm. Was it a big enough arm to get a guy at home? No. But big enough arm to get the ball back in and save runs against? Yes.
Right.
I'm more upset than anything that he went to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Because of my undying disdain for what the LA Dodgers are. And who and what they are and what they represent, everything about them. I can't stand that organization. I think they're trash.
I'm going to get you a Tommy Edman Dodgers jersey.
I will burn it and put it on YouTube. I'll do it for the show. You buy the jersey, I will burn the sucker, and we will put it on the show.
Well, yeah.
Anyways.
You want Edman or Flaherty? Sorry, Edman or Flaherty?
Well, we'll get Flaherty's a whole other story. I won't waste the fire on that. I'll have a good time with that. And I can't say what I would do with that jersey. Anyways,
go on.
No, I love Tommy Edman. It's a great trade. We don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back from the wrist. He obviously had a little bit of an ankle mishap. He hasn't played a game for us this year.
Yep.
But he's a great dude. He's great in the clubhouse. He is a guy who demonstrates, because he got to see it and was in the tutelage of it before it all fell apart, the real Cardinal way. He was the embodiment of it. So it's a shame to see him go. But let's be honest. He hadn't played all year. There was no spot for him on the field right now. Siani is playing Gold Glove defense, but he can't bat to save his life. But the bat's getting better. Let's be completely honest. In the last month and a half, the bat's been much better than it was at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Tommy, we know Tommy's bat goes ice cold, and then he'll hit a couple home runs. He'll get some singles and some doubles, and then he'll go ice cold again. So that was kind of me a wash there. So I'm okay with it. If I had to lose Donovan or Edmund, and I've said this before on multiple shows of ours, I'd rather trade Edmund than Donovan because Donovan's a little bit younger and we got more control. I think Donovan's ceiling is higher than Edmund's overall. So this is a smart trade. It's a good trade. We got something we very much needed in Eric Fetty, and we got a fighter, which because Yachty's gone, because Wayno's gone, we didn't have that fire in the clubhouse. Arenado's got all the fire and the passion in the world. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting Arenado. I love the dude. He's fantastic. Please find your bat, Nolan. Please find your bat and bring it back to St. Louis. But that's kind of where we're at with it is, Tommy Pham is going to be that spark plug, that fire, that the dude works out and trains because he's been in fights and been stabbed before. This is the guy we want with him going into a fight with us, and we're going to be in a fight the rest of the season. So Tommy Edman is exactly the type of personality this team needs right now to get themselves into a playoff fight. And I think they're ready to fight now. Eric Fetty, I don't know a lot about him. I know his stat line's been good this year. 3.11 ERA. He's not a ground ball pitcher. I wouldn't call him a strikeout pitcher, but I think he's easily our number 2 right now. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's our number 1 come playoffs if we make the playoffs. Just to be completely honest. Sonny Gray's been having some struggles.
Yeah.
If Eric Fetty is at least more consistent, then I think we're good to go. If Sonny finds what he had at the beginning of the year when he came off the injury, then Sonny's the number 1. But now we have a 1-2 punch that can, or a 2-2 punch is what I'd really call it. I think because I don't give Sonny Gray the number 1 status. He's a 1. He's not an ace. Let me clarify that. He's a 1, not an ace.
You can call it a 1-2 punch still, though.
So we have a 1-2 punch.
Back-to-back games.
He's a 1B.
Yeah.
And then Gibson in the 3 hole, and we'll see whoever else is out there at that point. I mean, who knows? Lynn just went on the IL because his knee's hurt after he had one of his best games of the season.
And he pitched through that whatever knee inflammation he had yesterday. He pitched through it.
And looked great. So I think he needs to keep pitching with the inflammation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but if it's going to give somebody like McGreevy an opportunity to pitch and do what he did today and possibly sneak into the rotation as maybe like a fifth. I mean, it's hard to pull Palante out of that 5th spot though at the same time, or whoever they throw in at that 5th spot.
See, and that's where I'm shaky. This is where I say, because everybody else that we thought would be buyers weren't buying. Right. This is where I think we missed the boat. We should have gone out, and you're going to die when I say this. We should have gone and made the offer on Jack Flaherty.
No,
to get the end of the contract, to have him in there, because we know he can't pitch in the postseason, but we can throw him in the bullpen if we have to. Right. But he's there for the rest of the regular season. Or at this point, I would have made the big trade for Skubal.
Yeah.
And this is where, as much as it pains me to say it, Ivan Herrera at that point would have been on the block for me to get Skubal.
And I'm surprised he didn't get traded.
They're not giving up on him yet. The defense is so good, they just got to figure out the arm. If they can figure out the arm and the pop time, he's fine. And that's something that can be taught and worked on.
Yeah.
So I don't think they want to give up on him because his bat right now is gold.
Yeah.
He's one of the best hitters in Memphis right now. And Pedro Pajes is figuring out how to bat. And he's doing a good job. I don't know. We're going to be clogged at the catcher position is what's going to be end up being the problem. So one of them is going to get traded either in the offseason or at the deadline next year.
Yeah. And you're going to have to trade Padres or Herrera at either the offseason or next trade deadline. You can't keep.
Well, they also said there's another catcher we have that's supposed to be gold.
Yeah.
Down there, and I don't even know his name. Apparently, he's supposed to be awesome though. So we're going to be log jammed at catcher because they're trying to replace Yachty, which is never going to happen. Yachty is a
No.
first ballot Hall of Famer. He's the reason that nobody ran against the Cardinals for 19 seasons. Because if you ran, you most likely were going to get called out.
Yeah.
So they're trying to find that, and they're never going to find it. They need to settle on Contreras is doing a much better job right now calling games. As long as he can stay healthy and stop trying to steal strikes and not get more broken arms, that'd be fantastic. And his bat plays. And everybody, if Contreras has a bad game or a bad run here, give the guy a break. He's got a lot of family drama going on right now back home in Venezuela. He's worried about his family. So, and I am not a Contreras defender by any means. If you've been watching this show for a long time, give the guy a break. Give him a break.
Yeah.
He's got a lot going on right now that's not baseball related, and baseball is not life. So we're going to have a log jam at the catcher position, but I like the trade to let Edman go. I love the pickup of Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham. Even if he's not the greatest player in the world, he brings that fire that we need in this team. So I'm happy with this trade.
Yeah. Jordan, what's your thoughts on this one? I know you're a big Tommy Pham kind of guy, right?
I mean, kind of. I really like his position he had with the team as a utility man. I mean, the dude could hit both sides. He could. I mean, the dude was fast. He could steal. I mean, he'd turn a single into a double. I mean, he could hit home runs. He was great. He was great for us. They turned him into a center fielder, which I guess we could have left him in the infield, but we had too many guys there, like we always do. We always have a log jam. I do like this trade. I like that we have Pham and Contreras together on a team. I am a Contreras fan, especially because he's came from the dark side over here. I love that. And then with them two together, they both have that fiery passion that I really like in like a team of mine.
Yeah.
They both bring that spark, and they both bring that attitude where it's like, I'm not going to say, but it's like, they just bring that ish attitude where like, they just run it. But
yeah.
And with Fetty, I just heard he was you got to look at what he was doing on what team he was on. He was on one of the worst teams, and he wasn't pitching bad with a 3.11 ERA. And what was he? 7-3.
7-4. His last game, he went 4 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs to the Seattle
gave
Mariners.
up 6 hits, but was that all his fault, or was that defense? You know what I'm saying? Like not stopping the ball or whatever. But he came from a bad team, and he was pitching good.
Right.
So that says a lot. Now he's on I guess you could say a mediocre / up and coming team that has a lot of potential if we can align everything. But this trade, like I said, I do hate that he's going to the Dodgers. I just hate the Dodgers with a passion. I just do. I just hate Kershaw. I'm glad he got. Okay, I'm not going to say that because not wood. I don't believe in karma. It's unfortunate that he got injured and he's been sitting a while. But and then Jack Flaherty freaking going to the Dodgers, like in a couple months, man, their rotation is going to be insane, especially because Flaherty's been pitching really good this year for Detroit, and whatnot. But I just hate seeing the Dodgers get good players. It's like, dude, just leave them alone. Like, let them go to other teams. Like, but the Dodgers have prospects they've been giving up left and right. So I mean, and they got the farm system, I guess. But they usually trade. They're a big team that just trades for the stars and stuff like that. And with us getting Tommy Pham back, which is, I mean, he's been batting pretty good. Again, he was on a crappy team, and he was doing decent, which again on the offensive side of it says a lot. Tommy Edman hasn't played for us this year. We know what he's capable of. We know what he can do. I'm going to hate playing against him. He's going to be a great asset to that team when and if healthy. But like Josh was saying earlier, we got a great spark with Pham coming to the team, and his bat's been hot. That's what we need. We need an outfielder that can really hit the ball besides what's his name? Siani, who's been killing it, by the way, which is beautiful. I know you mentioned that too. He's just raking. But I love watching it now. I mean, we got a Cubs series coming up, a 4-gamer. We got Sunday night baseball. Michaelis is going that night, and they have 4 pitchers that I've never really heard of going. So I could honestly see a sweep of this next series. I don't know if that was a topic you want to talk about as the next series or whatever, but the next series, and then like we were talking about earlier with Milwaukee, I mean, Milwaukee didn't really do anything at the trade deadline. Did they need to do stuff? Maybe not. But they're not doing the greatest either. They're winning and they're losing, but they're just staying right at that point. They're doing the same things we are, as in record wise. So as long as we keep winning and keep this little hot fiery streak we're going, I mean, I really see us going far in this division and hopefully catching up to Milwaukee and then eventually passing them for the division. That would be beautiful. But we will see where we go from there. But other than that, love the trade.
Yeah. So Eric Feedy has he's still under contract for another season too, outside of this one for 7.25, or 7.5 million. I thought it was 2.5, 7.5 million, which is actually so the Cardinals ended up saving money by trading out Tommy Edman because he was due with 8.25, something like that, 8.5. So they're able to save a little bit of money, which is what the front office told John Mozeliak that he basically needed to do, is not to overspend, which it's kind of ridiculous. But
and then he denied it.
Yeah,
Mozeliak denied it.
So maybe they didn't. Maybe it was just a miscommunication kind of thing. From the way they
miscommunicated,
from the moves that they made, I don't think it was a miscommunication.
So I got some stats here on Eric Feedy since none of us really know much about him.
Yeah.
So he's been in
outside of the like the ERA and wins and stuff.
Yeah, I got some other stuff here. So he's pitched in the MLB 7 years.
Yeah.
So 2017 he started with Washington. He pitched his first 6 seasons there until 22.
Yep.
Then he went to Korea in 2023 and pitched for 1 season. Came back to the White Sox for this year, and obviously now he's with us. So he's only had a winning record once, and that was in 2019 when he was 4-2. Okay. But don't let that get you scared. He's thrown more innings. He's about to throw as many innings this year as he has any year in his career. The most he's ever thrown was 133.
He's at like 121, right?
He's at 121.2 right now. So barring he doesn't get injured, he will pitch the most he's ever pitched in a year before this season. He gives up, like, if you really look at it, I'm trying to do an average here in my head. He averages giving up 92 runs a year in his seasons that are earned, 27 home runs. He walks about 66 guys on average. He strikes out about 135 guys a season. That's according to his average. So, again, he's not a big strikeout guy, but if you look at the innings he pitches per season, he's like 0.8 strikeouts an inning. Right. So he's not quite what we want, but it looks like he's getting better and better. This is the best ERA he's ever had, is the 3.11. He's never been below 4.29 before in the past. So he's obviously found something when he was in Korea, worked something out. It's translating to the MLB. He's going to get there. We just got to hope that he gets there. His career FIP is 4.87, so that's horrible. But things can be improved. Again, he only pitched. So, like when he was in Washington, he started 3 games his first year, 11 his second year, 12 his third year, 8 his fourth year, 27 his fifth year, 27 his sixth year. So the guy can pitch an entire season as well. So keep that in mind as well. He's durable. He should be able to eat innings on top of it. Right. As long as he can keep his ERA down, he'll fit in where we're at. He hopefully can take Michaelis's spot was supposed to be, which was a number 2 or a number 3. Hopefully he can fill that role. I'm sure if he has a good season, and if he's having a good season next year by the All-Star break of the deadline, he'll get some kind of extension because he's not going to be super expensive. Because when you look at pitchers right now, they're getting paid $15, $16 to $25 million a year. He's 7.5 right now. Unless he has a stellar year next year, he'll probably get a contract for 3 or 4 years at 10 or 11 a year. And that's a steal in this market. So hope for the best. He's a young guy still.
Yeah, and you get a guy that can eat up innings and save the bullpen some more, and get some innings off of those arms that you need, late into the season. That'll be a huge thing for the Cardinals as they, kind of go down the stretch here. So they also made one other trade, kind of late, like within the last 20 minutes of the trade deadline yesterday.
I think it was even later. I think it was like last 12 minutes.
12 minutes, and that sent Dylan Carlson to Tampa Bay Rays for gosh dang it, is it Steve?
Sean Armstrong.
Sean. I knew it started with an S. Sean Armstrong. He is more of a like mid reliever kind of guy. I don't think he's, he doesn't have the greatest stats. He's like 5-2, 5-3. I don't know. He has
this year
four wins.
he's 2-2.
What was I looking at yesterday? Then that he
I have no idea.
He had 4 saves and something on that order.
His career, he's 10-7.
Yeah, so not a huge pickup here, but it kind of helps clear up that little bit of I wouldn't say scrutiny, but just like I guess drama almost that was going on with Dylan Carlson. Jordan, what do you think of Dylan Carlson being brought to Tampa? They lost Randy Arozarena. He's not there anymore. He's out in Seattle now. So sending in another Cardinal outfielder to the Tampa Bay Rays. How you feeling?
Well, let's hope this is not another Randy Arozarena situation. Okay, because Dylan Carlson at the time when he was drafted was highly he was a high prospect in baseball. And things just ended up not working out. We had a crowded outfield. I'm a fan of the guy. I really am. I hope nothing but the best for him. He is going to Tampa Bay, which is, okay, I guess not in our vision or to the Dodgers or anything like that. But you know what? I guess it was just time. Again, like we said, we have a crowded outfield, and it's just who's playing right now and who's doing good. And Dylan Carlson just hasn't got up to a par of who we want as a outfielder. And like we said, it's just crowded in our outfield, and it's just. I don't know how else much to put it, but I did like the trade. Hopefully this guy works out for us coming from Tampa Bay to St. Louis. We kind of needed a mid-tier reliever. Like you said, his stats aren't the greatest, but hey, sometimes when people switch teams, just something just pops and they could, anything could happen. But I don't know. I really hope this wasn't a mistake. It was not a mistake. But like I said, just because this guy was a highly, highly top prospect in baseball at the time when he was drafted. So that's the only thing that worries me, that if he does become healthy and does get under another system, like how come all these players that are leaving our system and going to another system, how come they are raking like freaking, obviously you knew Tyler O'Neill was going to rake wherever he went. The dude was what, 5th or 3rd or whatever for MVP voting not too long ago. when the dude's healthy, can break the ball. You can see what he's doing in Boston, and then Randy Arozarena, and then the pitchers, like the guy on the Marlins, just everybody, man. It's a scary situation, especially with somebody like this. And also Dylan Carlson was also in trade talks when we talked about getting Juan Soto.
Yeah.
And you couldn't pry Dylan Carlson from Mosaic's cold, dead hands. That was 2 years ago.
Right.
But you just traded them for Sean Armstrong, who's 2-2 and a 5.40 ERA.
You sign him over for a bag of nuggets, basically, and some baseballs. It just, the trade is what it is. Mo at least addressed some. He addressed the positions we needed, and got rid of positions that were overcrowded, I guess you could say, right, as in Tommy Edman and now Dylan Carlson. Yes, we did get another outfielder, but he's a different type of outfielder. He brings a different kind of swag, like we were talking about earlier. So I won't go back into that. But anyway, this trade, I hope it does not turn out to be a Randy Arozarena type trade. But like I said, I wish nothing for the best for him in Tampa Bay, and I hope this reliever does good for us.
Yeah, and you know what? If it is that type of deal again, it's what it is. You have to. You can't keep a guy who I don't necessarily know if he didn't want to be in St. Louis anymore. If it was just kind of like this. Where maybe Ollie's getting that little bit of pressure, like, hey, we want you to play this guy because we think he can be, and he just never could get there. He never could find that spark to take him to the next level. He kind of stall. He would always stall out.
Right. But what I also think about is, though, if he leaves and immediately, maybe not immediately, but within half a year, next or by next season, he's a different dude, and he's just raking and hitting 30, 40 home runs for Tampa Bay. It's like, what are we doing wrong?
If you traded him to a team like Cincinnati or Chicago, like the White Sox or not the White Sox, the Cubs, for example, which I don't think the Cardinals would do, I think it becomes a bigger issue. But you don't see Tampa that often.
I know,
You know,
but it's the fact that
it's the fact. I know, yeah.
What are they doing differently that we couldn't change this dude to make him do what he's doing now? I'm just saying, for example, if he turns into a 30, 40 home run guy, which he was sparked to be, then it's like, what are we doing wrong? That's my thing. That's my problem is like, if he does leave, like I said, he was a high prospect in baseball coming into the league. Right. And if he goes over there and starts raking, it just makes me think like, why aren't we changing this? Like, obviously something's wrong and they need to address it and fix it because we're doing something wrong that we can't develop these guys right.
Right. Josh, what do you think on this one?
Oh, you know what? Dylan Carlson had the potential to be a fantastic baseball player.
Yeah.
He has a problem. He's missing an ability. The ability to stay healthy. And his inability to stay healthy and not be on the IL is what led us to this position. He came out of camp he was in camp this year. I saw in spring training, excuse me. I'm already got hockey on the brain. My apologies.
In camp, spring training, same thing.
Yeah. So in spring training, he looked really, really good. He ended up running into a freight train and he got hurt. And that was the end. I think at that point, they thought Walker was going to be better. Walker didn't. So they ended up with Siani. We all know what happened there. Yep. But I think the nail in the coffin was 2 or 3 games ago where he made the 2 errors in the outfield, not bad turns on balls. So
the one cost him the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was it. His bat doesn't always play. He doesn't want to hit from one side of the plate. He wants to be a switch hitter, even though he struggles one side much more than the other. He was always a good defensive player, but the offense could never come around and click. And when you're an outfielder, you got to be able to hit on top of being able to play defense. This is very different, in my opinion, than if you're a catcher or a shortstop. Your glove matters more at those 2 positions than anything else. Mm-hmm. Outfielders, to me, have to be able to play both sides of the field. So I think that the trade for him is good. I hope he gets a fresh start and he can find a way to stay healthy. Maybe playing 82 games a year in Florida and going into this new stadium will help him. Tropicana Field is the 17th most friendly ballpark for hitters in the MLB, while Busch Stadium is the 25th most favorable ballpark for hitters in the MLB. So maybe that helps. Maybe we do see more home runs out of Dylan Carlson at Tropicana Field. And depending on what this new stadium looks like, the Tampa Bay is going to have if he's there for that. I hope for him as a human being and as a former Cardinal, right. I hope he finds it. I hope his career takes off. And I hope he doesn't come back to haunt us. But at the same time, he's 25 years old and he's never played a full season because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'll get what I can get for him. Do I like this trade? Not particularly. I don't think Sean Armstrong, from what I've seen, looking at Baseball Reference, is very impressive. He does average, like this season, he's averaging 9.6 strikeouts for every 9 innings. So strikeout inning guy. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that. That's fine. It's basically the same thing that Fetty has. But, his ERA is a little high. Now, at the beginning of his career, he was actually a really good pitcher. So when he was 24, 25, 2.25, 2.53, then he had 4.38 ERA. The next season, 1.23. And then ever since then, it's like he'll have 5.74. He went to 14.73 ERA the season after that, back to 5.13. And then out of nowhere with Baltimore, he's a 1.8, and then back up in the 6s, and then 8, and then back down to 4, and then back up to 10. And then last year he was in 22, he was a 3.6. And then last year he was a 1.38. And then this year he's a 5.4. We don't know what we're getting with this guy. And I'm sorry I just went through that whole list of covering 10 years of his ERA, but we don't know what we're getting. And he's been all over. He would spend time in Cleveland, Seattle, Toronto, back to Seattle, Baltimore. Yeah. Tampa Bay to Miami, back to Tampa Bay. So that tells me that there are teams that like him or like what he has to offer.
Yeah.
But you never know what you're going to get with him. So to me, it sounds like he fits right in, as in get out there and show us what you got tonight kind of ordeal. And then that's kind of where I'm at with him. I hope it works out for us. I hope it works out for both of the players. But I have no idea how Sean Armstrong is going to look. I would have much rather had a better, more reliable reliever to go get, especially with JoJo Romero's struggles recently, and Andrew Kittredge is pitching more innings than he's ever pitched in his career at this point. I'm very nervous about our big three, because Helsley's still on lock, even though he's had some troubles the back half of the first half of the season. We'll see what happens. I think we could have done more. I would have packaged Carlson and Gorman and gone and gotten a bigger bat to add to the lineup, or to go and get a bigger pitcher or a pair of pitchers. But they didn't want to do that. That's fine. They're not going to give up on Gorman yet, even though he's a strikeout machine. He's striking out nearly 50% of the time right now.
Right.
It's all or nothing with him. Either he's going to put runs on the board, or he's going to take his bat and he's going to head back to the bench and ride the pine pony. So, I mean, I'm fine with this to give Dylan Carlson a second chance. This also clears the logjam going into next season if Jordan Walker's got it figured out so he can play in the outfield as well. These are trades that needed to happen. These were necessities. Did we address that we needed a relief pitcher in the bullpen? Yes. Did we go get a starter? Yes. Did we go get another bat? Yes. Okay. Good job, Mozeliak. You went and addressed every issue. Did you address them the way I would have or wanted you to? Not necessarily. But you put in a little bit of effort, and you spent $0 basically to do it. You didn't give up any of our top 10 prospects. As much as I've ragged on Mozeliak all season long and all of last year and the year before, good job this time. Good job. You got rid of you alleviated contract issues. You got rid of some of the logjam we had in the outfield, and you brought in some fire. You brought in a guy who can throw, and you brought in a guy who's a coin flip every night. You're going to put him on the mound. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's hard to be 100% upset with the way the trade deadline went. At the same time, you do bring in guys that are going to fill in spots that you needed. Outside of just bringing in a bat, they brought in a right-handed bat, which they
desperately needed.
They desperately needed that, because most of the time you're looking at a heavily favored left-handed bat lineup majority of the time.
And we've got enough lefties.
Yeah. So you bring in a right-handed bat guy that can hit the ball fairly well. Yeah, you win. You win that trade. You win that trade with the White Sox. You win that trade with the Dodgers, and hopefully things work out for Carlson. And again, if it comes in a Rosarina type of deal, it becomes in a Rosarina type thing. And you could say the same thing about Tommy Edman. We know what kind of player Tommy Edman is. If he becomes this next stud guy for LA, then it's that one's going to be a little harder to chew, because you're going to have to face him in the playoffs, if you want to get anywhere, with it. So just some of my final thoughts on that. Any final thoughts on trade deadline stuff? Jordan, I know you said you got to leave soon or head out soon. So
give us your final thoughts.
Any final thoughts? Yeah, final thoughts.
No. Final thoughts, like I said, and I was just going with a B- earlier, just to kind of throw just a curve with Josh right there. He was going B+, but no. He like you said, we addressed what we needed, and not in the strongest possible way, where it's like, okay, we know we're going to hit the playoff push, farther than that push. Blah blah. No, Mosaic didn't spend a dime. He sent people that need to be sent because we're crowded. I know I've said that word 700 times tonight. But overall, like I said, the trades were decently good, and we will see how they turn out. Hopefully the starter turns out great as in Fetty, and then let's hope Pham continues on the rate that he's on, and let's just hope we can get some kind of spark. Like I said, earlier, everybody's getting base hits. We don't need the Powerball and get doubles, triples, home runs every single time. Like, small ball wins games almost every single time. And yeah, we do have a log jam coming in with the catchers, which that's going to be interesting to see. I do agree. Nobody's ever going to replace Yachty. Nobody will ever be Yachty. But other than that, I'm excited to see what these guys have. I'm excited to see how the team finishes here in these last 50-something games here. Yeah. And hopefully we get right there in the playoffs, hopefully past a wild card spot. But if we get in that wild card spot, I hope we still have that fire and that passion like we're going to have the rest of the season, hoping, and we'll see where we go from there. But other than that, trades were I was happy with him. I was happy.
Anything can happen once you make the playoffs. You just got to get in. You just got to get in.
That's what we say as Blues fans.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
That's the St. Louis fan thing. Is
It's
just
St.
in
Louis.
general.
Just get in. Just get in.
Just get in, baby.
Just get in. Josh, any final thoughts on the trade deadline?
Well, I wanna, as much as I gave the Cardinals B+. ESPN, or I mean MLB Network says I'm wrong. MLB Network says the Cardinals got an A+.
ESPN said B+.
Okay, I didn't know that. I have not gone and checked.
Yeah.
I've been so busy with my personal life, I have not got to look on anything.
Or B.
This
it was
is
in
all
the
my
B, the B frame. There was A's, B's, C's. Cardinals win the B section.
Well, by value, MLB says that the Cardinals were the number one team at the deadline.
Wow.
On value.
Yeah. You didn't lose it. You didn't.
Yeah, but you picked up everything you needed and you gave nothing up. So they did the best job at the deadline according to the MLB. I was shocked by that. Dodgers came in at second. And then Mariners came in third, which the Mariners did everything they should have done, and then not everything they should have done. But they did everything they needed to do. They should have done some more. They need one more bat to make sure they get through Houston. But we're not. You guys want that talk? Come on tomorrow night at 9:00 and join me for 7th Inning Stretch with Darren Breyer. We'll get into all that tomorrow night. This is about St. Louis. So
that's over on Friday Sports Network, by the way, not 314 Sports. Yeah,
that's right. I'm sorry, I forgot about that change. But no, I mean it's a fair deadline. It's a very Cardinals deadline. No major risk.
Yeah.
No big investment. But things were addressed, and this makes me feel like they're just trying to get in, and then they'll roll the dice and see what happens. Fine. If that's what you guys want to do after finishing last place last year, I can deal with that stepping stone. But if you guys go and win the division, I'm going to be super mad that you didn't go and be more aggressive and get rid of Gorman and get rid of Herrera and package Dylan Carlson together and go get Skubal or go get, another big bat. I can't even think about who else was out there who didn't make the trade deadline. I'm so glad they didn't go get Garrett Crochet. I'm super happy they didn't want that.
Nobody did, right? He's still in Chicago.
Yeah, he's stuck there. He didn't even get traded.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And he made a stupid comment 2 days before the trade deadline that said he won't pitch in the playoffs without an extension. I was like, well, that just took the Yankees away.
Yeah.
That took the Dodgers away. That took Minnesota away, Cleveland away. St. Louis ain't going to go after you now.
Yep.
So he killed his own trade market with that one. So
sure did. I didn't hear that.
I don't want him. I didn't want him anyways. I don't like his personality. He's very. I'm not going to say that. Never mind. Because it'll start an argument here, and I'm not trying to start an argument. He seems a little full of himself for a guy who's never even pitched, more than one season, the full season. Right. I can't deal with that. He's not Paul Skeens, and he's acting like he is.
That's fair.
We need a Paul Skeens real bad. Oh, I'd love to have a Paul Skeens right now.
Hey, you might have one in McGreevy.
I don't know. He had 3 strikeouts today. It's not like he had 7. He got 1 in inning. If he had 1 in inning, I'd have been like, "We have our own Skeens, baby!" Woo!
What did Skeens have in his first game?
I don't know, a lot.
Did he?
I think he had 6 in 6 innings.
Oh. Give him time.
He's getting more than. He is averaging more than 1 strikeout in inning right now.
Yeah, if the guy ends up like Adam Wainwright, I think we'll be fine.
I mean, I'd take that. I'd take that, especially if he has an Uncle Charlie like that. I mean, I'd be down. So the overall trade deadline for the Cardinals, I'll take it. They definitely were buyers and not sellers, which is great. So, all right, time for the back third of the season. Let's get the job done. Let's find a way into the playoffs, and let's hope that we're hot in September and we can ride it through October and make a deep run. Now, with saying that, and Jordan, I want to get your opinion on this. I know part of you, as a logical sports fan, does not want the Cardinals to make the playoffs and does not want this to be a success. Because if we do, we're all going to have to eat crow on Ollie Marmol if they make a deep run to the World Series. And I don't think any of us want Ollie Marmol on that bench managing this team any longer than he has to be, because I honestly believe, and this is my own personal opinion, I have no facts to back this up. So I'm just giving you a hot take. The reason we haven't seen Yachty this year is because of Marmol. The reason Holiday stepped away was because of Marmol. The players like Marmol. Fine. You guys like him? You want to play for him? Show us what you got. Get the job done. I don't think Marmol is a bad dude. I think he's an unseasoned manager, and I am tired of having guys learn to manage with the St. Louis Cardinals organization. I want winners. I want guys who know how to get the job done. And I'm not saying Yachty would be the manager to come in and do that. I'm not. I mean, give me Madden right now. There's a litany of other guys out there that I would rather have that are old school dudes, but he needs more time to be seasoned. I mean, the guy is a year older than I am, and he's managing a $167 million roster of baseball players who are not only all better than him and actually played in the show where he never did, but they have more charisma, they have better delivery, they're more fun than he is. And I think he tries to be a Tony La Russa-esque manager, and he's not. Because Tony never smiled. If Tony smiled, you knew we won the World Series. Ollie Marmol is very much a not smile kind of guy. And he's got a high head, which I like, and he'll defend his players against the umpires, which I like. But I think he needs to be a bench coach for like 5 years before he gets full reins to the next team he has. So, Jordan, that was long-winded. My apologies. Is there a part of you that hopes that the Cardinals bomb out the back half of the season to guarantee Marmol doesn't get an extension?
So,
or do you just want the winning? What's more important to you?
Listen. This is my take on Marmol, okay? That does make sense. We haven't seen these guys. We haven't seen Yachty. Why? Really, who knows? Holiday, he left. Okay, his son got drafted. He's going to follow his son's team. He's going to follow and be the son. Okay, he got brought up, and then he got sent back down. So, you know, he came
back and hit a grand slam for his first home run.
Well, yeah, but, you know, that's something to where he's going to want to be with this, to me, in my opinion, for Holiday. Anyway, that's off another track. I want the Cardinals to win. I want them to find something in this, but Marmol got a 2-year extension right now. Okay. Maybe Yachty told him, "Hey, give me 2 years and I'll be back," or something like that. We don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know. Now, if we win, and that means that Marmol stays and he gets like a 5-year extension or something stupid, then that would upset me. Okay, but
It would upset you if he brought a World Series championship to St. Louis, though. Yeah.
It almost feels like this team is like the Blues in 2019. Like, if we went into the playoffs and somehow went to the World Series and somehow freaking won it, like with this team, like what we have right now, that'd be insane. Okay, and I don't know if I would put it on the coach. Because like Mosaic was saying,
he's going to get the credit for it, though.
Is he, though? Because we bring in these veteran players, you know, or whatever, like they like to say, and it changes the outlet, changes the team's attitude completely around. And they start going on a winning streak. They make the playoffs. Then they go further than the playoffs. And they get to the World Series, and then they win it. This year, that'd be their storybook. You talking relatable to 2019, looking at the flag right now, like, dude, that would be crazy. Last 50 games of the season, the Cardinals just make a crazy storm comeback. And anyway, I don't like I'm not a big fan of Marmol. He just doesn't look like that guy that needs to be in there. But like I said, we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe Yachty said give him 2 years, and what might happen is Yachty might come here and Marmol might slide down the bench, or Marmol just might be gone. Yeah, if he brings you a World Series, what do you do? What do you do? I don't know. Is it worth having Yachty as your coach, or do you want to, or are you going to decide to keep this guy and Yachty will never be your coach, and this is your only chance?
Right, but you can look at the same way the Blues did with Berube. They won the Stanley Cup, and then they struggled the last year and a half.
Yeah, but they made that change in season.
Right. It could happen. It could still happen. You could win a World Series championship and still get fired the next year.
Well, right, but I'm saying like he got hired.
It doesn't happen in
and then
it doesn't happen in
baseball.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen in baseball as much as it does like hockey, for example.
Hockey,
But-
if you fire your coach before December, there's a good chance you're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That just seems to always happen.
Yeah,
Look
there's
at
less
Edmonton.
games. There's less games too, and the hockey world, those coaches get cycled out way more than baseball. Obviously,
and then they find another job right away most of the time.
most of the time, yes.
Look, Berube's in Toronto now.
Yeah, but
With a stacked lineup.
they're
Yeah.
still
If he
still
brings
good.
Toronto their first cup in forever, I'm going to be so mad, but I'm going to be so happy
mad.
for him
Yes.
because it's going to make Dougie, and I love Doug. Don't get me wrong, I love Dougie. But it's going to make Dougie look stupid.
Yes.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Because Chief goes and wins there like next year, Doug looks stupid.
They have a good possibility, a good chance to too.
They should have had a good chance the last 3 years.
You see an all Canadian Stanley Cup final next year between Edmonton and Toronto. I think the NHL would implode on itself.
Oh, I wouldn't even watch.
Oh, that'd be a blast. Are you kidding?
Dude,
That'd
I would be
fun.
so mad.
That'd be well. I mean, you wouldn't watch. You're not watching for Berube. You're watching because it's Edmonton versus Toronto.
Well, so I'd watch just see what Berube's doing.
Yeah.
That'd be it. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
Recycle
I mean,
hockey somehow.
I would. That's tough. That's a good question. In my opinion, I think if they win, they make the playoffs, they win the Central Division, they go into the playoffs as a Central Division, champs. Good possibility they're going to get, lined up with a really good team. They have to face off against a really good team.
Well, the
And
problem is if you
it's-
end up winning the division, you likely play Milwaukee in the wild card.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Milwaukee's owned us this year.
Right. So you could get knocked out. You can get knocked out right away. You could.
We'll
You could.
see. We'll
Or
see
you
how
could-
we're playing.
Or you can get hot at the right time,
You could
Yeah.
which, like we always
Baseball's
say, all you
crazy.
got to do is get in.
get in, baby. Just get
All you
in.
got to do is get in.
Get it in.
Not get it in. Get in.
Yeah, get it in the playoffs.
Get it-
Get that organization in the playoffs. Get it in.
Yeah.
Don't mail it in. Get it in.
Oh, goodness.
See, like the Cubs mailed it in. We're gonna get it in.
Um,
Love it.
anything
All right,
else on the
y'all.
Cardinals? I did have. Are you bouncing, Jordan?
Yeah, I do have to roll.
Okay.
See you, buddy.
Babies.
Sounds.
All right, guys. Great show. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, see you next time.
See you,
Adios,
Jordan.
amigo. But back to these Cardinals real quick, as he's trying to. There he goes. I don't know, man. I don't know if this is enough.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't know if it's enough. I'm not gonna say it's not, because if Fetty comes out and is a three or sub 3 ERA the rest of the year, and Gray looks like he did at the beginning of the season, and Gibson continues to eat innings, and if Lance Lynn comes back and throws like he did yesterday, which we know he's not going to because it's one good game, one bad game, one good
Right.
game, one bad game. Just put him on a 10-day rotation instead of a 5-day, and hopefully we get all good games. But
Well, I mean, you make the playoffs. You have to look at possibly putting Lynn in the bullpen.
oh, he's not a starter in the playoffs
Yeah.
by any chance. He is going to be a bullpen guy because here's what'll happen. Oh, Gray's seen the whole lineup twice, and he does no runs scored against. He's only allowed one hit. Bring in the next pitcher
Yeah,
because they're so analytically driven now. And it's outside of their damn minds. Like just
that has a lot to do with Sonny Gray though, being like, hey, I only want to pitch like 80 is what I want. Like that's
you jumped where I was going.
yeah. Just say that's my sorry. That's
No,
my
it's
limit.
all right.
That's my limit. It's like, hey, like he doesn't really want to pitch more than 80 because he doesn't want to tear he doesn't want to lose his arm.
So, in my opinion, he's doing that in the regular season to make sure he's got enough gas in the tank for the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's
So
fine.
I understand the regular season, but if he gives that look over to Ollie in the 5th inning because he's hit 80 pitches, but he's only one run against
Oh,
him,
no,
nobody on or whatever,
I'd
I
expect
will
him to go.
lose my ever loving mind.
Yeah.
I mean, we will do a show on the spot, and I will call for him to be traded in the offseason.
He said, "Gone. Get him out of here.
Get
You
him
don't
out
need
of
him.
here. I don't want that. That's why I didn't want Hader. And
Bring
I'm so
back
happy
Jaime
with
Garcia."
Hell yeah, give me Jaime. He was fun. But no, I mean it's just we'll see what happens. It's baseball is an odd game. It's gonna be weird, man. It's just just strap in, let's rock and roll. We just won our first series in the last 3. So we'll see what happens. Fam's gonna be a spark plug for us. Contreras, I think, is gonna be a spark plug for us. Donnie looks like he is really finding it. Goldie's bat's been better. Arenado has good series and bad series. If Siani keeps playing Gold Glove defense out there in center field, and our corner outfielders, and I say corner outfielders because it's a rotation, continue to play well, and Burley keeps being what he's been all season, I don't see why we can't get Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's got to hit a skid here sooner or later.
Yeah,
they just can't hit a skid and us hit a skid at the same time.
Right, which is
we have
what seemed to happen so far this year. Is if they lose 3 or 4, we'll lose 3 or 4.
Yeah,
or even if you win one in there, Milwaukee's going to win that day.
Right. And then when we get hot, they do enough to stay in front of us. We've closed the gap on them.
Right.
Because we were 10 games out, 2 months ago?
Hey, it was just last week they were almost 8.
Okay. Well, I was trying to go the biggest number.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it can, because this division is so close and because the whole division's close, every game matters. Yeah. We haven't talked about this yet, but the Pirates could still do this. The Pirates have the best pitching out of everybody.
I was gonna bring that up, but it got moved into a different conversation, different topic. Is that maybe neither the Cardinals or the Brewers win. It's the Pirates that sneak in and surprise everybody. But you can have really good pitching, but if your offense isn't going to,
you got to produce
to step up either. You look at Pittsburgh. That's the perfect example of what's going on with them. They have really good pitching. Their pitching's outstanding, but they don't have any offense.
None.
So you're not going to win baseball game. You could, but you don't have that stellar of a defense either.
Right. So they should have gone and addressed more issues. The Pirates should have, and I would have taken them more seriously. The Cubs obviously traded some guys away. I'm surprised Bellinger's still on the Cubs, to be honest with you. The Reds sold yesterday.
Yeah, Reds sold a lot.
At the deadline. So,
the Reds are out. They brought in more younger guys. Yeah.
They're building for the future.
They've been building for the last 5 years, though.
Yeah, just half the teams in the league do that. It is what it is. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Let's just put it that way. Let's just be honest. Nobody knows. I cannot give you a dead-on balls accurate prediction of what's going to happen because this team is Dr. Jekyll and Hyde for me. We have too many Dr. Jekyll and Hyde players. I mean, really, look at it. We don't ever know what we're going to get with Sonny Gray at this point. We don't ever know what we're going to get with Lance Lynn. Gibson's fairly consistent because he'll at least eat innings every time he goes out there.
Yep.
McGreevy had a good game today. Palante is one good one, one bad one. One good one, one bad one, and then he's had a couple good ones in a row. So we'll see what happens. We don't know what's going to happen with Matz when he comes back because that's like a free trade when he comes back.
Were you surprised they didn't try to offload that one?
No, I'm not surprised at all.
No.
Nobody's going to take the risk on him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take the risk on him. I mean, I wouldn't trade a bag of balls for him.
Yeah. There had to have been somebody, though, out there who could use a veteran arm, like, somebody like the Nationals. Somebody
with as cheap as he is, that's the only reason that it surprised me he didn't get traded. But I think they have faith in him because when he was healthy earlier in the year, we talked about it. If this is the match we're going to have, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know, but we know he can come out of the bullpen and be effective as a lefty.
That's probably where he'll be. And he'll be like Lance Lynn. He's not gonna start in the playoffs unless you need him to. In that case, I'd rather have Lynn.
For the wild card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'd rather have Lynn for sure. He's got gas. Right. Not like Skeen's gas, but he's got gas.
He has that dog in him, Josh.
Yeah, he is a dog.
Lynn has that dog in him. He drives a pink Bronco.
I love it. Have you seen you saw the TikTok video? I saw on Facebook.
Bronco.
But no, I mean, I think we're just in for a ride, guys. Sit back and enjoy the show. We're supposed to be a 500 team this year. We're above 500 right now. If we can win 30 games that are left, we win the division. If we win 30 games of what's left, we're in the playoffs. That is what it is.
Did we make how many wins? I'm sure he did. I'm sure you did on the 7th inning.
Yeah, we did.
How many wins they get? What did you say? You said 85, right? 80, 85?
I think I said 86.
86 cents. So
I think I said 86.
Basically where they were at.
87. I think I gave a range, actually. I think it was 85 to 89.
Right.
So I didn't think they'd be a 90-win team.
Yeah. Which they could be.
I can't remember, though.
They could still be.
Somebody go and check the film and tell me what I said.
That was so long ago.
I know.
So long ago.
Baseball's such a long season.
Yeah.
It's not like our football guys where they get it easy.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Why? Hold on. I know we're live on the show, but why do I have the 2 longest seasons of the year?
Because you chose them.
This is why I need time off, guys, because I am on the longest amount throughout the year.
At least both the years get done at the same time.
This is true.
They start at the same time. They end at the same time.
which gives me a month and a half off every year.
Yeah.
I still don't take that time off.
You don't have to start. I guess NASCAR starts February. Baseball starts what? Into March.
February.
Well,
yeah. I mean, news starts
really into March, like in depth into March.
This is true.
So
because you report for spring training on Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah, and Daytona 500 is like the last weekend of February, usually, give or take. Right, second of the week.
4th of July. It's Valentine's Day weekend usually.
It's that early.
Yeah,
I thought
because the duels are usually the first week of February.
Oh,
and then you got a week off in between that and the 500.
Yeah.
So everything starts for me at the same time and ends around the same time.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be all right.
I'm good with it. I enjoy it. I do it for you guys. I do it for you, so you have somebody else to listen to and complain about, and spend time with other than Espen. Out there on
or some of the other ones. Some of the other ones as well.
I don't have a problem with MLB Network.
I was going to talk Blue. No, MLB Network does a good job. I can't complain about them. Was going to talk Blues because ESPN graded the off season. They gave the Blues a B+.
Yeah.
They gave them a sneaky B+ for
what I would have given them.
For they signed. They got rid of Kevin Hayes. Signed Buchnevich to the contract. Signed Buchnevich.
We got a Russian again.
Picked up some guys who, between the three of them, scored 32 goals last season. So hopefully, you never know.
Didn't we re-sign Kapanen too?
Yes, 1 year, I think.
And
1 year
for 1 year, $1 million, and then Verana's gone.
No.
No.
So Verana went to the AHL. He's in Springfield. He was in Springfield.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So he done.
We probably won't see him unless they need him.
Because he was a reclamation project anyways, because he had some substance abuse issues or whatever, or something along those lines where he was in the player protocol.
Yeah, he had really good first couple seasons, and then really, really tanked after that and fell off really hard.
He was lightning with Washington. He was fantastic with Washington.
Yeah.
When he was over there. But look at who he had with him.
Right.
He had Carlson, he had Ovechkin, he had
Kuznetsov. Yeah,
Kuznetsov. That's what I was thinking of. I was like, what's the other guy's name?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a shame. Oshie.
Yeah.
We love Oshie. Yeah, St. Louis still loves Oshie.
Yeah.
But I don't blame you guys. I love Oshie too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. TJ Sochi.
The goal.
I would agree with that. The B+ on the Blues trade or off season so far. I think it was good. It's been a solid off season. Can't complain.
It's solid, yeah. I mean, but the problem is for the Blues right now, and this is just from me listening to our local sports talk affiliate, Espen 101.
Yeah.
So I won't even call them what they're supposed to be called anymore. I'm so mad at them. They didn't trade Bennington, which is good. So we're still doing it. We're doing another season of retool. We're not rebuilding.
Dumbest thing ever if they would have done that.
Yeah, but that would have at least told the fans, hey, it's 5 years. You got 5 years to wait. Go.
Well, you have Hofer. Hofer could be a 30-win goaltender.
Maybe.
Could be.
Can he stay healthy? Can he play that well that many games in the season? There's a lot of questions there with Hofer still. I think we'll see a lot of those answered this year. I think we'll see 30 games started for him this year, 30 to 35, depending on how the season's going. If we're fighting for a playoff spot, Bennington's in the net every time.
Yeah, well, yeah, and if Bennington's only allowing 1 or 2 goals a game too, then you can't. You gotta stick with Benny. I mean, he's the guy who's been your guy the last couple of years. He's got to be your guy going into this season too. You can't change that unless Bennington comes in and struggles right away, and he has to struggle right away. Not just like a 1 game performance so he lets in 4 goals, because we know that's going to happen. It happens to every goaltender in the NHL. It has to be letting in 4 or 5 goals for 4, 5, 6 games.
Yeah, it's got to be 2 weeks straight of bad play.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah,
and it's got to be his bad play, not the defense not playing in front of him.
Right.
Let's clarify that as well. But the defense looks like it's going to be strong. Dvorsky may make the team out of camp.
I hope so.
It's going to be I don't know if I hope so yet. I might want to give him 1 more year to bake and get a little bit better. But that's just me. I like to see young kids develop in the minors in hockey because the game is so much different. It's not like basketball where you come out at 21 years old and you're just as good as the 27, 28-year-old players out there.
Right.
Hockey's different. Hockey's a better game. It's a much more challenging game than basketball.
And that's fair, but the league he was playing in Europe, he was playing against 27, 28, 29, 30
You're right,
year olds.
but that league is still a step below our AHL.
You're right. Yeah.
So I mean, I agree with you. Like he was dunking on dudes older than him that had been in the league longer. That's true.
Right.
I need to see him do that in the AHL. Now, if he comes, I would rather see him start in Springfield this year and get called up 20 games into the season because he's just dominating.
Yeah.
That would make me feel better. Yeah. I don't care how good his camp is. I want to see him go do it in Springfield for a little bit. My key this year is Jake Neighbors. Can he do what he did last year and be better? And here's why I'm worried about it. The opponents know who he is now. He's a small guy. They're not going to let him just stay in front of the net this year. It's not going to happen. And if it does happen continuously, coaches should lose their jobs. He's a little dude. He should be able to be pushed out. When we play against Chicago this year, we're going to have to deal with Patrick Maroon. We still don't have a fighter on the team. I don't want Shin out there dropping gloves, protecting everybody.
I think it's going to be one of the Joseph brothers. I think one of those two guys are going to be like.
Are they a little bit? See, I don't know much about those guys. I know we got both of them.
They're a little tougher on the skin than some of the guys that they're good 3-4th line guys.
What about Foxa?
Foxa the same way. Foxa's the same way.
He's a little bit more of a he'll dance a little bit. And I don't know what I should expect out of him, to be honest with you. I'm really looking forward to camp. To see some of these guys, and since we got so many new faces on the team this year, it's going to be really different. Jamie Rivers seems to be somewhat excited on the radio, so that helps me out in my not anxiety, but in my what am I looking for here, Brandon? I'm missing a word. My brain's not working. I'm out. Anticipation. There we go.
Yes, I was going to say excitement, anticipation, same thing. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready for hockey to be back. I'll tell you all right now, I don't think the Blues are going to make the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, they're going to be an 8 seed, and this is not a win and get in situation. Not in the Western Conference, with the way Edmonton's going to be built, with the way Colorado is going to be built.
Colorado ain't really like Colorado anymore. They're good, but they're not. They're old. They are old.
Cale Makar's old. Nathan McKinnon's old.
Yeah.
We have a difference of opinion here.
They won't be as good as I think. They'll still be a solid team. Yes, they're still going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be. They're not going to be the Colorado
number 2
team.
in the division.
Probably, yeah. Because either Nashville, if Nashville doesn't win the division this year, I don't know who will. They're the favorites and right. And you think Dallas? Yeah, I could see Colorado being a 3-4. Then
I see them at worst 3. I think Utah is going to be a problem this year.
Yeah.
I really think the Blues at best finish 5th in the division.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where it's at. And I think Doug knows that. I think Steiner knows that. So they're not worried about it.
Yeah. I think them and Utah will be a little closer in the standings than we think. I don't think Minnesota and Chicago are going to fight for the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah. Both of them are going to fight for the bottom. St. Louis and Utah are going to be in that 5, 6, maybe 4 range, depending on what type of team Colorado is. Dallas and Nashville are going to duke it out for Dallas, Nashville, and Winnipeg. I always forget about Winnipeg. Winnipeg's always good.
Yeah, but Winnipeg was bad last year.
No, they were. Well, were they bad? They were middle of the pack, weren't they?
They didn't make the playoffs, did they?
They were below. Were they below the Blues?
I don't remember. That was such a long time ago, man. I've had to cover so much baseball.
I thought they made the playoffs. They did make the playoffs, didn't they?
They might have. You covered the whole playoffs. You should know.
I don't remember.
Dad brain's getting to you, and the baby's not even here yet.
Yeah.
But anyways, the Blues probably aren't going to make the playoffs. If they do, we're all going to be super happy for them. But I am not putting my heart on the line right now for this team for hockey. I just want to have a good hockey season. And for me, a good hockey season is be competitive. Don't get blown out left and right. We could lose 20 games by 1 goal. I'd be fine with that because at least we're in the game.
That's hard, though.
It's hard to stomach, but at least you're in the games.
Yeah.
That means you're on the precipice of going to which way you want to go. Right. We need one more offseason.
That's fair.
We need 1 more year of development for our young guys. This Blues team is going to be so good in 3 years, it ain't going to be funny.
No, I know.
We are going to wreck.
Yeah.
Straight wreck other teams. If we can keep all this young talent and they keep developing at the rate they are, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about this. Robert Thomas. Pains me to say this name. Jordan Kyrou, because he's a goal scorer and that's all he's ever going to be. And I've decided
He had the most goals with the Blues this past season. It's hard to.
I don't like guys who aren't two-way players.
I know.
It's my problem with Tank when he was here. But Thomas, Kyrou, Bucci's here for the next 6 years. So he's in the mix. 6 years. Okay, I couldn't remember what it was.
6 years. 6 years.
I think it's 6 and 8. Yeah.
It's 6. Yeah.
Neighbors, Dvorsky. What's the guy out of Sweden's name? Lidström?
Lindstad. Yeah, he's defenseman. Lindstein.
Yeah, the defenseman. Lindstein. That's it. I knew it wasn't Lindstrom.
You got
Parayko's still got years on his contract. Snuggy's going to be coming.
Who they might trade if they can get somebody worth trading for.
There's not much out there worth trading for Snuggy, unless you can get somebody who has immediate impact.
Trevor Zargas out of Anaheim.
I don't want him. Nope.
It's the only guy I could think of.
He doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. Not a team guy. He's a lacrosse player on ice. I'd rather see us smash him.
Give me some goal scorers.
That's not.
Why not?
Whatever.
Like you can do the Michigan, okay? I just want to just one time.
That's why I don't like it.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then if you're calling him a lacrosse player on ice, then you got to call Connor Bedard a lacrosse player on ice. Because
I don't like Connor Bedard either. I don't think he's worth all the hype. It's not because he's in Chicago.
He's good.
I don't. He is good. I don't know if his career lasts very long.
That's a good question.
That's why I like him.
That's a good question.
I want my hockey players to be between at least 6 foot tall and at least 215 pounds. And I would like them to be as big as 6'8" and 260 pounds.
Okay. You can't have you can't have 6 Colton Parayko skating around on the ice.
You can if you play your cards right. It's just not likely. But no. I think our defense, I'm not gonna say our defense is much improved. I don't know how much you covered Krug last week. It breaks my little heart that he is going to be out, but I hope he's out for the entire season because that frees up that money.
Maybe. That's what I said last week. I said, if anything, for the sake of the Blues, is that he goes long-term IR. They free up a bunch of cap space, like however much more. They already have 7.5 left, I think, or something on that order.
Well, he's another 6.5, isn't he?
Something like that, 6-7. It might even be 7.25
this year.
Yeah, around that mark. So if you can free that up, get him back in the playoffs because you can run a little bit more.
Because he's a quarterback on the power play, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you get him back into the playoffs. Just screw it. Do what you're doing. Do what Vegas is doing. Do what Tampa did. Do what Why not?
And until they close the loophole, use the loophole.
Yeah, basically. Exactly.
And they're going to close it here by probably the next CBA.
Probably.
I don't see it not.
If not sooner than that.
No, they can't do it. They'd have to wait till the CBA. I don't think you can make a change like that. I mean, yes, you could. You could. I just don't think it would go over well.
Yeah.
But let's just hope Perunovic can step up and stay healthy. If Perunovic can't, fine, whatever. Sutter, I'm fine with that move.
It was a good move. It was a good deal.
I'm fine with that move. My fear is that his reputation of how he handles younger players to teach them how to play the game and be a professional scares me a little bit with the amount of youth we have.
Yeah.
But if he's learned from his mistakes in the past and he's really going to be a true veteran, what's the word I'm looking for here? Mentor.
Yeah.
Then I'm all for it. The dude averaged 19 minutes a game last year. He played all 82 games for Dallas. He was vital to them in the playoffs.
Yep.
The dude at 39 years old can still puck. And if he can puck, I'm down.
Yeah, I said that. I said that last week. If he's gonna eat up ice minutes and keep you from having to, it's about the consistency in the defense.
Yeah.
If he can come and give you 19, 20, 21 minutes on a good day, 22 on a really good day, then you get him 1 year, $775,000
with incentives up to what, $2 million?
Yeah, $2.2 million or something like that. Which that's pocket change. Yeah, for an experienced guy who had with like 13 points last season, which nothing spectacular in that realm of things, but it's a veteran guy who's been in the NHL for a while. He's not played anywhere outside of the Central Division.
That's the funny part.
I know, that is funny. Nashville, Dallas, Minnesota, now St. Louis. So he knows And I think what'll be helpful there is that he knows the guys that are in the Central Division very well. He knows what type of players are going to be. He's going to be able to not necessarily predict, but to think ahead during a certain play of, you know, what could happen. Where's this guy going to go? Where's he going to pass the puck to?
He's an 11-time All-Star.
Yeah, he was a solid NHL player 5 years ago.
Dude, he was in the Norris conversation.
Yeah, in Nashville
9 times. In the Bing, he was in the Hart conversation.
Yeah,
the dude's had a fantastic career.
Yes,
I'm trying to figure out who he's related to.
I don't know if it's any of the Studers or Sutters from St. Louis that played for St.
Well,
Louis.
I want to know.
I don't think.
I should have done this before the show, but I'm doing it live.
Drum roll. Find it yet?
Hold on. I'm trying to even think how to phrase this. Who is Ryan Suter here? Let's do it this way.
In other news, while Josh is doing that, City won a game the other night.
Did they really finally win a game?
Yeah, they won 2-1 over Dallas FC in the opener of the Leagues Cup, whatever it is. A lot of people aren't super supportive of that league, or the Leagues Cup, however they're doing it. But on the positive side, the two new guys, Marcel Hadel scored a goal, and Cedric Touchard also scored a goal. So that's a good positive side of things for City, is like your guys that you're bringing in scored some goals, they're getting some offense for you, and whatnot. So they play this Sunday against Juarez, I think.
I don't know. I'll say it. Here, I got you. I'm going to read this for you. Guys, this is from Wikipedia, so let's hope it's all right.
Very reliable. The most reliable source on the internet ever.
Hey, I got one. I can get it fast. He was born January 21st of 1985 in Madison, Wisconsin. Parents are Bob and Diane. Grew up in Wisconsin alongside his younger brother Garrett, while their father coached at the University of Wisconsin, and mom was an ice hockey administrator. Sutter was born into an athletic family, as his father was a member of the United States men's national hockey team at the 1980 Winter Olympics for the Miracle Game. And his uncle, Gary Sutter, was a professional ice hockey player in the National Hockey League. So that tells us a little bit. And then Who did Gary play for?
L.A.?
Oh, I think he played for more than just L.A. That's why I want to check.
I know all three of them played in LA.
He played for the Calgary Flames. He was one of the Blackhawks ones. So his brothers or somebody played for the Blues, and he played for the Sharks. So he played Flames, Blackhawks, and Sharks.
No Kings.
No Kings, no. So that was one of the other ones. There's been so many of them in the NHL. I can't keep them straight.
Yeah.
And then St. Louis had another Suter.
Well, there was Daryl, Bruce, right?
Yeah.
And Daryl, Bruce, and I can't think of the third one. Started with the G, doesn't it?
Gary.
Is it Gary? He played St. Louis?
I don't know which one played in St. Louis.
I thought maybe he didn't. I know 2 of the 3 did. I know Daryl played here, and Bruce obviously played here. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
And then we also had one for the St. Louis Cardinals. Brian Suter was drafted by the Blues, number 20th overall in the 76th draft. And then by the Edmonton Oilers, 36th in the amateur draft in 76. So Brian's the only one who played for us.
Daryl didn't play. I said Bruce Suter.
Bruce was the Cardinals
pitcher. Guy. God, what am I saying?
Number 42.
Yeah. Wrong team.
Who I modeled my picture after in the show 24, by the way.
Yeah.
I was going to do Bob Gibson, but I was like, let's do Suter.
Do Suter. Why not?
I did Bob Gibson last time.
Yeah. Brian Suter played for the Blues. Bruce Suter played for the Cardinals. There we go.
In the same time period.
Yeah. Crazy.
Both in the mid-'80s.
Crazy.
Back in the heyday.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on things for tonight's show?
If you want more baseball talk, make sure you turn it into the 7th inning stretch on the Variety Sports Network tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Central. Darren Breyer and Josh Edwards will be doing the emoji draft reactions, and we'll be talking about the second half of the season.
I gotta do that. Yeah.
Da.
Yeah, I gotta make your graphics for tomorrow. Still waiting on my things, Darren. If you're watching or listening at any point, I need your stuff so I can do that.
Called out live on the air
as well. Yeah,
but no,
is what it is.
I think I'm wrapped. I got it all done.
Yeah, good. That's good. Other than that, you get 7th inning stretch tomorrow night. No NASCAR this week. Possibly a episode of the 5-Hole on Friday night.
Wrecked with Ranger on Saturday.
I don't know what he's going over. I don't know if he's doing baseball.
It's always a surprise.
Football,
we don't know if
wrestling,
it's gonna be football, basketball, wrestling. I mean, I love it. I love that he just kind of shows up with something that he's got going on.
Yeah. So it's going to be one of those 4 things. No NASCAR this week due to the Olympics. If you haven't checked out any Olympic games so far, go cheer on Team USA. I think they still have the medal count, top of the medal count, as far as I know. Yeah. Last I saw, they had 26. That could have changed by now.
Pump those up.
What?
Those are rookie numbers. They need to pump those numbers up.
Well, they're like 8 ahead of whoever was in second place. So
I don't care.
Yeah,
that's not enough.
6 ahead. Hey, there's gold. They're gold medals. Let's get gold medals. Medals are medals.
Are they all golds?
No, they're only
that's
like
what I'm saying.
gold medals. So
yeah, that's the problem.
Other than that, we don't have anything else here for you tonight. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in for tonight's show. And we will.
Right. Little Nicky.
Yeah.
Billy.
Adam Sandler. We'll see you on the next episode of 314 Sports Show, which might be hosted by this fella right over here. So, we'll see you next time.
Brandon might be a daddy next time y'all see him. So send out some love and some prayers.
There is no might.
Well, I don't know if you're going to be on the air before you have the baby again, or before your wife has the baby.
Probably not.
So that's why I said I don't know.
Maybe.
But maybe by the next time we see you, you'll be a daddy.
Maybe. Yeah. We'll see.
Send some love to the guy over there. He does a lot of work for us here at the Variety Sports Network and the 314 show. So send him some love, send him some prayers. Wish his wife good luck with the baby coming, and we hope all the baby has all of its fingers and toes, because you don't know if it's a boy or a girl, and we don't know yet.
You are correct.
It will be one or the other, though. We're sure about that, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
It's not gonna be a dog, right?
No, it shouldn't be. That'd be weird.
Turn it into a cat or something.
No, we can't do cats. Allergies. Can't do cats.
They can't meow. Yeah. So no, good luck with that, man. I'll talk to you, but yeah, all of us here wish you the best of luck, and we expect pictures right after the baby's born, not of your wife, of the baby.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Don't take a picture of your wife after she gives birth and send it out to people. I promise you that'll be a bad move.
Not going to. I'll let her do all that. Let her figure out when she wants to do all that. That's on her terms. That's on her.
So we're happy for you, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it. For all of us at the 314 Sports, 314 Sports Show, make sure you check out Variety Sports Network as well. Tons of great stuff over there. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it out. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Oh, wait.
Oh, you forgot something.
No, now we'll see you next time.